The Supreme Court of India on Thursday said that recommendations of the GST Council are not binding on the state or the government. This only has persuasive value. The Supreme Court also said the ocean freight is unconstitutional. The Supreme Court was ruling in the case of ocean freight, which is quite an old controversy as far as GST legislation goes. So, what does this mean for the Indian companies, the Indian government, and to some extent the Indian states? I'm Sachin Dave, senior editor with the Economic Times, and will go through what is the controversy and how this Supreme Court ruling is set to impact the goods and services tax framework as a whole. So, ocean freight is a controversy that emerged soon after the goods and services tax on whether or not IGST or integrated goods and services tax is applicable on ocean freight. Now, to give you an example, if there is a company based in the US and the company is exporting some goods to India, that is, India is importing these goods, then the company tends to pay the shipping line or the shipping company some money to transport that goods from the US to India. Now, when the goods land in India, the importer, that is the Indian company, takes charge of the goods, pays the custom duty. Now, as far as the Indian government or the Indian tax department is concerned, it thinks that GST is applicable on the money that the American company has paid for ocean freight, that is, to the shipping company or the shipping line to transport the goods from the US to India. Now, this was the essence of the controversy. The Indian importers on the end said that they are not paying any money, so they should not be made to pay this ocean freight. Now, the way the GST mechanism works is if they are unable to collect GST from the American company or the shipping line, they'll make sure that the Indian importer pays the IGST through something called reverse charge mechanism. Now, this controversy landed in several courts. Many importers filed several writ petitions over the years. So, about a couple of years back, the Gujarat High Court ruled in the favor of the importers. It said that it seems that levying IGST or making the importers responsible for tax that somebody else is theoretically supposed to pay is unconstitutional. After this, the tax department approached the Supreme Court. On Thursday, Supreme Court struck down the center's petition. That is, the Supreme Court said that this ocean freight or levying ocean freight is unconstitutional. Now, it is not just that. The Supreme Court went ahead and even said something on the GST Council. The Supreme Court essentially said that the GST Council can only make recommendations. It cannot really, whatever the GST Council says only has persuasive value. The state and the center or the parliament can legislate on their own. This is something that is set to probably rock the apple cart. This judgment could change the landscape of some of the ongoing controversies. Because in many controversies, the courts have asked the GST Council to take a look of what it feels about this particular controversy, or it wants to know the stand of the GST Council as far as a couple of ongoing litigation is concerned. Now, if the Supreme Court is saying that the GST Council can only recommend, and it is up to the states and the center to implement whether or not to implement these recommendations, it essentially means that it is merely an advisor. The GST Council cannot really legislate to an extent. While this was always understood, but Supreme Court coming out in open and stating that in as many words probably could have some long-standing implications as far as some of the ongoing controversies are concerned. Now, it will also be interesting whether an observation like this from the Supreme Court impacts the state-center relationship. As we know, this has been a patchy relationship in the past, especially in the states that are not ruled by the BJP dispensation. Now, whether this Supreme Court judgment impacts the way the state perceive the right or the powers to legislate, at least in some of the parts, is yet to be seen. And whether this will lead to more controversies, we'll only come to know. Stay tuned to this channel for more on ocean freight and GST news.